start again. It's a redskin.
Now we will learn different methods that can be applied on list data type. So our first method is append. This method will append a new value at the end of the list. For example, here we have a list 1, 2, 3, and if you want to add another value, that is 4, at the end of the list, so we need to write a dot append, and within parentheses we need to pass the value, that is 4. And now if you print a, so this is our expected output. So our next method is insert method. If you want to insert a value at a particular index, then you can use this method. For example, if you want to add this 4 at the place of 2, that is at index 1, you can use this method. To do that, we need to write a dot insert, and then we need to first pass the index, that is 1, and then the value, that is 4. Now if you print a, so this is our expected output. This method will remove a particular value from a list. For example, if you want to remove this 6 from this list, then you can write b dot remove, and then within parentheses you can pass the value, that is 6. So now it will remove the value 6 from this list b. Now if you print the list b, so 6 has removed. Now if you want to delete an element by using index value, then you can use this pop method. For example, here we have a list that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to delete this 3 by using the index of this 3, that is 0, 1, 2. Then you can use this pop method. To do that, you need to write a dot pop, and within parentheses you need to pass the index, that is 2. Now if you print the value of a, so it is showing this expected output. So our next method is clear. It will remove all the elements of a list. For example, if I apply this method on this list a, like a dot clear, and now if I print the list a, then it will return a empty list like this. This method actually append one list at the end of the another list. For example, here we have two lists, that is a equals to 1 to 3 and b equals to 4 and 5. Now if I write a dot extend b, then this list b will be added at the end of this list a. Now if I print a, now it is showing the updated list. This method will give you the number of occurrence of a value in a list. For example, here 1 has occurred 4 times. So if I write a dot count, and within parentheses if I pass 1, then it will show 4 like this. This method will return you the index of a particular value. For example, if you want to know what is the index of this element 5, then you need to write a dot index, and within parentheses you need to pass the element, that is 5. Now it will print the index of this element, that is 4. So our next method is reverse. If I apply this method on a list, then it will reverse the elements of that list. For example, here we have a list that is a equals to like this, and now if I apply this method on this list, then it will print all the elements in the reverse order. Now if I print a, so this is our expected output. So our next method is sort. It will sort the list in ascending order. For example, here we have a list a, and now if I apply this method on this list a dot sort like this, and now if I print the list, then it will show the sorted list like this. Next we have a function that is sum. It will return the sum of the elements of a list. For example, if I write sum and then within parentheses if I pass the list, that is a, then it will return the sum of the elements. And let me print it. So it is showing the sum, that is 6. This function will return the length of a list, or the number of elements present in a list. Now if I write length of a, then it will return the number of elements present in the list a. So it is showing 6. Now remember that all the methods that I have mentioned here will change the original list. Now let's understand about the concept of immutability and mutability. Mutable means we can change the value of a data and it should be accepted by Python. For example, in a list we can change the value. So here we have a list a equals to 1 2 3 4 and this line will print the memory address of this list. And in this line I have changed the value from 1 to 10. And again I am trying to print the memory address of that list. Here note that the memory address of the list before changing the value and after changing the value is same. It means we can change the value of a list and Python support it. So list is a mutable data type, or we can change the value of the list after declaring. On the other hand, we have some immutable data types like all the primitive data types and some collection data types like tuple are immutable, which means we can't change the value after declaring. For example, here we have an integer value that is equals to 10 and this line will print the memory address of that variable a, and now here I am going to change the value of a, like a equals to 11, and then again I am trying to print the memory address of a. We know that integer is not a mutable data type, so we can't change the value of it after declaration, but here we have changed it from 10 to 11. Now it will going to create a new memory location for this value that is equals to 11. Now if I run this code, you will see that these memory locations are different in both the cases. Let me run it. Now note that the memory locations are different because after changing the value, it is going to create a new Py object in the memory location for this value equals to 11. So this is all for this video. If you want to download the lecture notes, then you can join our Telegram channel. Link is in the description.